Hello students. So this slide is actually the crush of all the methods which I use, which we have talked in all the lectures. The first method was Louis method. In Louis method, with the parameter which we studied was the orientation. Orientation means how and where the atoms are located in the crystal. That orientation can be determined by using the Louis method. In this, we have studied the transmission method and the back reflection method. If you observe the images which are formed by transmission method, you get dot like appearances, but for in case of back reflection method, arc is formed over here. Likewise, since it is a back reflection, so if I say the cone is formed over here, likewise, so this will give me a arc appearance. This will appear something like this. So this was in the Louis method. The same thing arrangement slightly changes in rotating crystal method. Here also the three parameters, that is the X-ray, the prism, and the not chromatographic, the photographic film is used, and the orientation is placed such that we can record the diffraction in all the possible directions. Here the crystal is kept constant; it is not varied, it is not rotated, but if you can observe over here, the crystal is getting rotated somewhere like this. Okay. The same thing slightly varies in powder diffraction. In powder diffraction, what we can see is that again we have three components: the X-ray, photographic film, and the sample. Likewise, X-ray, photographic film, and the sample. X-ray, photographic film, and the sample. The only thing which varies is the its location. Here you can see there is a similarity between rotating crystal and powder diffraction regarding the orientation of photographic film. So the film is here not that thick, slightly thin film is used, like thick what diameter of it is used, and here when we get the cone formation in the upper side, so here the cone formation is recorded in the lateral side, okay, and this cone are recorded in terms of arcs. So this is the basic difference between the Louis method, rotating crystal method, and powder diffraction method with respect to its orientation. Secondly, what exactly parameters are studied in Louis method? Here in Louis method, as I discussed earlier, we measure the orientation, what where exactly the atoms are located in the crystal. Over here in the back reflection, again we are checking out the orientation of the atoms. The only difference between them is here we get a complete circle-like appearance. Here we get a arc-like appearance. In case of rotating crystal method, what we study is we study the lattice constant. Here we are studying the orientation. So here we are studying the lattice constant. Now here comes the some different word, that is lattice constant. What exactly lattice constant means? For any kind of crystal, each layer, these are the horizontal layers, I will say, and the small balls like appearance, but they have shown is the vertical layers. So for horizontal layers and for vertical layers, uh, if we try to take a single piece out of it, okay, so that will be considered a single lattice, and this whole segment, this one, will be referred as the lattice layer, and this specific segment will be called as the single lattice. So if I take this lattice outside and I zoom it out, I can observe that for this given lattice we will be in 3D form. If we want to orient it, we will be having three axes: x axis, y axis, and z axis. Here the three axes, they have been mentioned in terms of A, B, and C. This A, B, and C refers to the length of the three dimensions. Likewise, we have discussed earlier that we are using 1 mm sample, 1 into 1 into 1. Barabar hai? So from that 1 mm sample, again we are taking the basic smallest crystal lattice of it, and having dimensions A, B, and C. That length are recorded. And if we since length exists, the angles between C and A, this angle formed will also exist. This angle form will also exist, and this angle form will also exist. So there will be having three angles which are here denoted by alpha, beta, and gamma. So for the single lattice, the ABC, that is length, and alpha, beta, gamma, that are the angles, are the lattice, are considered as the lattice constant, and these are also referred as the lattice parameters. So in rotating crystal method or else in powder diffraction method, what we study is lattice constant or lattice parameters. These values are not studied in Louis method. Louis method is having its restriction as it studies only its orientation. It don't go to individual lattice moiety. Then with the difference among the three with respect to the type of crystal used. Here in this case a single crystal is used. Here also we are having a single crystal, but in case of powder diffraction we are having polycrystals since it is in a powdered form. Here single crystal stands for intact crystal. Okay, so we are having a single intact crystal. Here also we are having a single intact crystal, but since we are powdering the intact crystal into powder form, so we will be getting polycrystals. That's why the word here used is polycrystal. This is the difference between the three methods with respect to the crystal used. Now the next difference with respect to beam used. As I have already told repeatedly that for Louis method polychromatic beam is used. That means the wavelength is the parameter of wavelength is varying, whereas the theta angle is kept constant. But in case of these two remaining methods, monochromatic beam is used. That means wavelength is kept constant and the theta angle is very varied, and it is being checked down, noted down. Opposite to it is the angle, that means the theta angle. So in case of Louis method, since polychromatic beam is used, so angle is kept constant. But for rotating crystal and powder diffraction, since monochromatic beams are used, so angle will be definitely varying. So by merely studying, comparing these three methods, or by merely having a hold of this slide, you can have a credential data if any question is asked on XRD methods. Moving to next part, how does it works? Let's see what in all the three methods we had a crystal. That was the bottom line. And in this crystal, we are having a regular array of atoms. Now, regular array of atoms means the compact crystals will be supposed to be composed of number of layers of atoms, either horizontal layers or vertical layers. So, this in intact molecule we will be having n number of layers. So, this will be the regular array of atoms which is mounted on a goniometer. Goniometer is the tool on which we keep this tool, this crystal, that is we consider as a mounting. Okay, now what we get after study, either you go for Louis method, you go for any of the reported methods, what we get at the end, we get a diffraction pattern. Now this diffraction pattern कैसा बनता है? It is obtained by bombarding with X-ray while rotation or by any means. Okay, so once you get this diffraction pattern are manipulated, or what we called as are derivatized in some by using some software applications, and we can get the electron density map from it. So by some what we call as some kind of programs have been designed which considering the reported methods. Likewise मैं कहूँ कि NaCl का अगर मैंने क्रोमेटो एक दिस डिफरेंट पैटर्न चेकआउट किया, NaCl क्रिस्टल लिया, डिफ्रैक्शन पैटर्न उसका चेकआउट किया, अब NaCl की इंफॉर्मेशन मेरे पास रिपोर्टेड है, बराबर है, डिफ्रैक्शन पैटर्न जो मुझे मिला उस डिफ्रैक्शन पैटर्न की इंफॉर्मेशन मुझे मिली है, अब मैं क्या करूंगा NaCl के जितने अरेंजमेंट जो रिपोर्टेड है उसके हिसाब से उसकी इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी उस जो मुझे ऑब्जर्व्ड डिफ्रैक्शन पैटर्न मिला है उससे मैं उसको कनेक्ट करूंगा और एक प्रोग्रामिंग के थ्रू उस इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी को मैं अरेंज कर दूंगा. सो इसके बाद नाउ ऑनवर्ड्स अगर मुझे किसी भी मॉलिक्यूल में सोडियम या क्लोराइड इन सोडियम एटम्स या फिर क्लोराइड एटम्स, या तो वो साथ में रहे या तो अलग रहे, इन दोनों की इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी पैटर्न कैसा रहेगा ये रिपोर्टेड रहेगा. सो आई कैन डायरेक्टली गेट दैट पैटर्न फ्रॉम द बैंक and I can apply it over here. So once I have got this pattern, I will apply the electron density map. So this is the very small example which I have taken from NaCl. This can be complex with some protein molecules also. Likewise, for protein which are molecules for whose the electron density is reported, for that protein molecule we will be taking the carrying out the study of the diffusion pattern. On the same basis, the DNA loop was analyzed and was characterized. So this is the base of it from which they have studied it. So here the electron density map is formed, and this electron density map is further being fitted in the appropriate atomic model. The 2D images taken at different rotation are converted into 3D models of the electron density map by method of Fourier transform. So these are the software applications by which we can postulate what exactly the crystalline components, that is the atomic layers, may appear. Okay, so for if you observe, this crystal appears to be very simple like this, but what it is composed of and how the arrangements are, it can be complex like this. So with the help of XRD, this aspect can be easily verified. It is having this was more keenly used for DNA analysis, for DNA for chromosomal verification and all. So thank you for the patiently listening to this lecture. We will meet in the next. We will meet next in the next session with some new topic. Thanks and regards. Koshish Gabne from Vidyabad College of Pharmacy, Amrapali.